Hi, Russ and John here. We want to talk about let's talk about varietals, different types of grapes. Varietal is the right word, right?
Correct.
So a grape is a varietal. Common types of grapes, types of wines, varietals in the store. If I think of the common ones, John, and correct me, because I want you to go through them.
Okay.
Tell me the differences so I can kind of have a bit of a roadmap of what I'm looking for. So I see Cabernet as being popular. I see Shiraz as being popular. I see Merlot.
Yep.
I see Zinfandel.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I see, which one have I missed?
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir, right? So I've got those five. And just so we know, let's kick this punt it out of the park right now. Shiraz and Syrah are the same, correct?
Same thing.
And what's it? One is Australian, one's American. What?
The cuttings came over from France, mid 1800s, and the Australians, like to call things different, do things differently, and they called it Shiraz.
Okay, Shiraz, Syrah, the same thing. I say tomato, you say tomato. Okay, so let's go through that, John. Tell me the difference. So what you have a bit of a strategy for how you classify them. What's that strategy?
Well, I like to go sort of lighter to heavier. So you can go Gamay, which is
what's Gamay?
Gamay is the grape variety found in Beaujolais.
Gamay. Is it similar to any of the other the ones I just mentioned? Or?
No, Pinot Noir.
So Pinot Noir, but not the same as Pinot Noir.
But not
similar.
the same. But blind tasting,
yeah.
as we talked about in an earlier video, it can really fool you.
Okay.
And Gamay can go from really light, easy drinking wines to some pretty structured, some pretty full flavored wines, without being over the top. I call them balanced.
Okay.
So.
Well, don't let me get you off track. Just go from lightest to heaviest in terms of how you see it.
Okay, so the way I look at it is Gamay, Pinot Noir, Merlot, Zinfandel, Cabernet. And then you could throw
Shiraz at the very top? Is it?
Well, I didn't put that in. Sure, Shiraz and Cabernet can be interchanged. Okay. Also, you can look at Nebbiolo, which is found in Barolos and Barbarescos. And they have some Pinot-like characteristics, but are far more structured. Nebbiolo.
So here you've expanded my list already. I thought there was sort of 5 basic ones, but you've really got you've added the Gamay, and then there's probably 50 other ones. But these are the common ones. So the Gamay I'm going to find on my Beaujolais. The Nebbiolo I'm finding in the Barolos.
Barbarescos, or
what about the Montepulcianos?
Montepulciano di Abruzzo.
Yeah.
Montepulciano.
Okay, that's a different grape. Let's leave that out for now, just so we get our list down, Pat.
Yeah.
So we have the order.
Sangiovese, sorry. If you're talking Brunello, that was Sangiovese. Sangiovese Grosso.
So can you compare and contrast the significant characteristics of those wines as we go up from lighter to heavier?
Oh boy. Yes, simply you get more fruit, more weight, and more alcohol the further you go up. Now,
more weight?
More weight, more fruit.
More alcohol.
Can be more alcohol.
Okay.
There has been a trend that's talking about California in a second to pick a lot later, and you get some of these wines that are 15-16% alcohol.
Okay.
And honestly, it's like drinking Kool-Aid with spiked Kool-Aid. They're not that pleasant to drink.
Okay.
So you won't want, again, wines at 13.5, 14 in a bit is pushing it as long as the fruit is there.
Okay.
Something that you want you may like that first glass. You don't want that second glass.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Other grape now, what I find, those are the 5 major ones, but what I find is when I go into a store, I want to look for alternate grape varietals.
Okay.
Because what that indicates to me is that, one, you're going to find better value, which is we talked about a little bit earlier.
Okay. Because they're not in the mainstream as much.
They're not in the mainstream.
They're trying to make an entry.
And they're trying harder.
Okay.
Like, let's look at an example. Let's look at Greece.
Okay.
Now, Greece, for whites, there's Assyrtiko, Moscofilio. 2 whites that are absolutely stunning, great with seafood.
Doesn't Greece have a famous red wine that?
Retsina.
Retsina.
Yeah. No,
just teasing.
For other Grenache is great.
Where does Grenache fit in on your level?
Oh, it's somewhere between Pinot Noir and Syrah. Somewhere in between there. It can be light. It can be rich. It can be really dense wine. It depends on the producer. I've had some really light Grenaches, and I've had some full flavored. Like a lot of Chateauneuf du Pape has Grenache in it.
Okay.
So it can be up there.
Now, by the way, we should also mention that the Pinot Noir is also traditionally with the Burgundy wine, correct?
That's correct.
So often, if you're going to make beef bourguignon and ask for a Burgundy wine, you can't find one. You can get a Pinot Noir.
However, now here's what really concerns me. is a lot of producers today are making Pinot Noir that if I taste blind, I think is Syrah or Tempranillo. And that to me is frustrating and really annoys me.
Well, now let's talk about the Shiraz flavor versus the Pinot Noir flavor. Like the traditional Pinot Noir, how would you compare that to the Shiraz flavor?
Think Pinot Noir is this. Elegance from start to finish. It doesn't overwhelm you in the glass, but it mesmerizes you. It seduces you. And by the time you think you have it figured out, that bottle is gone and you're on to the second.
Okay.
Whereas Shiraz, if Shiraz are big wines, they can be a little bit overdone.
A bit spicy maybe?
Spicy.
A little bit leather, maybe some leather, some dirt.
Some spicy, some leathery, some mineral qualities to them. If they're well made, you can drink that bottle and you want, or you want that second glass.
Okay.
And that's, again, to me, a hallmark of a great wine. If they're that 14 or 15% alcohol, they're just too much.
Okay.
So you got to look at the producer, pick up the label, look at the alcohol content, and talk to the guy or the gal that works in the wine store.
Okay. How would you compare a Beaujolais to a Cabernet?
There's no comparison. Beaujolais, much like Pinots, in the sense that they have a richness, they have a minerality, they have a gaminess and a leather.
I find them very light. Beaujolais tend to be a lot lighter. Not necessarily.
That's because, and we're in British Columbia, folks. So the great Beaujolais, unfortunately, are not here.
Okay.
Yet. I went to Beaujolais. I brought in a bunch of producers. They're slowly coming in, like Thivin, Marcel Lapierre, Descombes. They're coming here, but the wine geeks buy them all, and they don't have that distribution of, I'm not going to say his name, but the ubiquitous Beaujolais producer.
Okay.
Right? So you want to look, you want to go to a good store that has been around for a while, that loves their wine, that loves their customers, and make sure their customers get a bloody good bottle of wine so they can come back, and you're going to find some good Beaujolais there.
If I'm going to buy a good Beaujolais in, let's say in BC, what am I going to pay for that?
$28 to $35.
Okay. How's that going to, so on the Cabernet side,
yes.
That's going to be more like the robust fullness of a Shiraz, you think, or how's it going to compare to the elegance of a Beaujolais?
If that Cabernet is grown in a cooler climate and you have a good grower, it's going to be much more briary, much more blacker fruits, deeper inky color to them. Yeah. More blackberry, more cherry, more chocolate, more mocha notes. Beaujolais, as I said earlier, can be a little bit more earthy, a little bit more minerally on the palate, but not as tannic. It has its power with the fruit, not necessarily the tannins. So
is it true then? I mean, could I almost find any flavor in any of those grapes, or are there some flavors that I'm not going to find? I mean, you talked about chocolate, leather, maybe a little bit of tobacco flavor. Right. I mean, I've seen that or I've tasted that in a Cabernet before. I've tasted it for sure in a Shiraz. I don't know that I've tasted tobacco in a Beaujolais.
No.
Okay. No. Because it's at the lighter end of the scale.
Different terroir.
Okay.
Different.
What's
terroir is the soil. That's another video.
Soil.
That's another video.
That's another video. Okay.
That's another video. This we could go on and on about this.
Yeah.
But I think for people listening to this, if they open their minds a little bit and they find a good merchant or a good store that directs them in the right way, they should be able to discover some really, really neat wines. Okay, so just to recap then, when you look at the common varietals that we mentioned, and you would sort them from the lightest to the heaviest, or should we say the lighter and the less alcohol to the heavier and more alcohol, we started at the bottom at where? We started with Beaujolais or Gamay. Beaujolais or Gamay. Pinot Noir. Yes. Throw in some Grenache in there. Grenache. Because Châteauneuf-du-Pape is also some Grenache. Yes. You can put in some Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo. You can Merlot. Merlot. Cabernet. Cabernet. And Syrah. Syrah. Or Syrah. Or Shiraz. So that would be from lightest to heaviest.